Thanks.
So how long have you guys known each other? Obviously for a long time, but I don't follow up. I'm not like connoisseur, but I love your guys' movies and everything. But no, okay, I'm digging a hole here. So
This is deep.
It's like 13 years.
Yeah. You don't have to be a connoisseur to know that, though. About 13 years. I met him through my friends Brian and Walter at the rec center. I worked at the rec center with Brian and Walter for about a year, and then I left. And then they started telling me all these stories about Jason Mewes, who everybody kind of knew but didn't know. Like, he was younger than us, but you knew him because you saw him in town. He was the town's kid. The kid of urban legend or suburban legend, as the case may be. Like, there's the Mewes kid. He's the one that broke the fucking window at Katz's. Or there's the Mewes kid. I hear he fucked a dog. Did you really fuck the dog?
Only once.
But I didn't know him, and Brian and Walter would tell me stories about him and shit. And they're like, he's so funny. He says all these funny things, and he's really fucking weird and funny. He's funny. I didn't like that because I was their new funny friend, so I was kind of territorial about it. And we used to go to comic book shows all the time, and I would drive up to the city because the other two were too pussy to get in the car and drive to the city. So one day Brian and Walter showed up with Mewes. And they're like, well, I was like, what the fuck is this? What's with the kid? What are you babysitting? And they said, we're going to bring him to the city. It'd be funny. Take him, he loves comics. Take him to the comic book show. Make fun of the people there. Not us. And I said, well, I'm not transporting a minor across state fucking lines because the comic book show is in New York. And Brian was like, well, fuck it, I'll drive then. And Mewes is the kind of asshole that's like, shotgun. So he jumps in the front of Brian's car, and I'm crammed in the fucking back seat of Brian. What was it, a Firebird?
Yeah.
With my feet up to my knees up to my fucking ears and shit. And he's in the front. No. Schnoogans. And Brian and Walter are like, ah. And I'm in the back like, he ain't so fucking funny. But eventually, Brian and Walter lost interest in him, and he started coming over to my place and then knock on the door and shit. And I'd go out and be like, what? And he'd be like, well, you want to do something today? And I was like, no. I said, look, we share friends, but we're not friends. Like, I am friends with Brian and Walter, you are friends with Brian and Walter, but we don't hang out. I know you live around the block, that's cool, but we don't really hang out. And he's like, all right. So what do you want to do? So I said, look, if you really want to hang out, you come with me to the store, quick stop. 5:30 Sunday morning, we'll make papers. You ever make papers? You know what that is? Newspapers, the Sunday newspapers come in like 5 different sections. You have to put them together. We had 5 Sunday papers, which was a lot of fucking papers put together. You got 200 of each, so you're just doing this for fucking hours upon end. It's terrible, isn't it? This one's not much better. And Brian and Walter, I'd ask them to go all the time. They're like, fuck you. Because I'm like, 5:30 Sunday morning, it'll be fun. I'm like, no. But Mewes, I was like, you want to hang out? You do that. Come down to the store, make papers. I'll give you $2. And he was like, all right. So he would come down and we'd make papers together. And some of them we would stack on the ice cream case, you know, that Dante Randall is sitting on in Clerks when he's doing the Salsa Shark. We'd stack the papers there, and Mewes would go to sleep behind the papers on the freezer case. And Mewes is a horrible fucking sleeper. When he sleeps, he drools like a child. So there would be this dude sleeping with his mouth wide open, tons of fucking liquid pouring out onto the freezer case and freezing. So he had like this icicle thing going on. And then people would come and get papers, and as the piles got lower and lower, sooner or later, he would show up. So somebody would be like, oh, what the fuck, you know? But we started hanging out that way and kind of bonded that way. But the day that I realized he was a comedic genius without knowing it, and hopefully he still doesn't know it, was the day that Walter and I were sitting in the recreation center. We'd picked up comics. The kids hadn't come from school yet. And we were sitting in the library. It's all quiet. And the door fucking gets kicked open, and Mewes marches in like Groucho Marx and proceeds to fillet anything somewhat phallic in the room. So if there's a pool cue, he's sucking it off. Grabs the phone receiver, sucking it off. Grabs the flag, takes a little eagle off the top, he's sucking it off. Everything, sucking everything in the room off. And Walter and I are watching him go, just like... And the dude never once looked at us for approval, like, look at this, it's funny, isn't it? And sucking everything off. Almost like he didn't know we were there or didn't care. Like he had an agenda, you know? I always pictured him as like walking around town going like, it's 2:30. I better go to the rec and suck everything off. So he does this about 15 minutes uninterrupted and then reaches, we had a standing asteroids machine, which if you remember doesn't have a joystick, it has a roller ball. And he fucking stops dead. Because there's no joystick. And me and Walter are like, you know, because what's a guy to do? He ran out of phallic symbols. And he fucking shrugged and he went down on the rollerball. So I said, this is a dude I want to hang out with forever. Because A, he's pretty funny. B, he looks like he sucks a lot of dick. And for them slow nights, that's a good guy to have around. It's like no chicks. We went and saw the movies. Want to suck my dick? All right, moves. So we've been hanging out for 13 years.
Cool.
Okay.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having.
In the comics and the movies, does Jay's tiny dick and latent homosexuality come from his escapades at the rec center? Or is there something else behind that?
He's talking about you, though. You're writing this shit, dog.
Yeah.
What are you writing about?
So I should answer?
Yeah.
Is it, well, yeah, why don't you answer?
What?
Is any of it true?
Well, are you asking if I have a small dick? I don't know about my dick. I don't know if it's small. I know it's not big, though. But,
you got like 1,000 judges here, dude. Whip it out.
I'm not...
They'll let you know.
I'm not gay, though. No, I love pussy. I love pussy. So much.
The dude...
Let's see in the preview.
Who, him, me, or him?
Don't turn up me. No, I like the cock in my mouth. Wow. Won't you put a cock in your mouth and shut your face?
You just got unleashed there for a second. You're like, put a fucking cock in your mouth and shut your face.